That might work like once, but then like the player sees, right? But on the ladder, you keep playing new people, so it works more often and stuff like that.
That's true. Well, also, you know, the longer you last in Code S, the more data there is out there for other players to farm, to figure out how your play style is to stop you. So you might want to get play style like this out of the way, assuming he does move on. Then again, if you're in the losers match of Code S, you actually just need to get through Code S. You know, and not treat it like you're going to win no matter what, especially if you're already in a spot where you're going to get knocked out the next best of 3 that you lose.
Well, right now we do have the Reaper harassment commencing. 2 more queens on the way already for Rogue, bringing up this one from that back natural. Needs to take this very, very seriously right now. So this is definitely a build that can end you if you miss micro.
Yeah, it can begin to pile up like a pretty crazy amount. You definitely have to be smart about where you're chucking your grenades at. You don't want to make this a mindless activity. You want to try to preempt movement. You want to try to you know, use it as a zoning tool so that you get free shots off as the queens, in this case, for instance, are retreating. Yeah, and
so far, Rogue's micro has been really, really nice. Like, he's keeping his queens at pretty high health. He's running back almost every time against grenades.
Good nade there, though, actually hitting those lings. Problem is if this doesn't do any damage, Terran is sitting on 3 racks Reaper and doesn't help, doesn't bode too well.
All right, keeping those queens at high health. Very, very important stuff. A lot of lings on the way. We do have speed done. We do have a spine on the way as well. Queen's starting to, ooh, nice transfusion.
Yeah, he hasn't really suffered any major casualties yet.
Yeah, it looks like Rogue is pretty much safe from here. I think he's got enough lings about to pop out. Ooh, that was actually very nice grenades.
Okay, he does get 1 queen here. Reaper number getting pretty scary, but the lings do come over here, and that should basically be the end of that.
Yeah, I mean, he'll poke up a couple more times, but there's enough lings. There's a spine out. He's actually moving the spine, which is not necessarily going to be a good thing. Throws a lot of grenades down, a ton of damage to that spine.
Well, from here he can no longer, you know, glide along the edge.
I do like that he's going up to a very quick layer here, but I wonder what the layer is for. Like, will he go for a Nidus? Will he go for a quick Spire?
I would say Spire.
I think so, yeah. Because
I mean, if there's that many Reapers out, that's a lot of Marines that were never made, right?
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons why this doesn't develop well, is Reapers are not a staple unit for Terran as the game goes on.
Yeah, certainly not.
And that's also why more traditional builds almost always incorporate a bunch of units that then build your core army.
Yeah.
And let you move out.
Yeah, it's quite well said, actually. It's definitely something I want to talk about more in the future.
Okay, that's really bad.
Yeah, that's
Sage is in some hot water here.
Caught off guard there a little bit.
Yeah. Granted, those Reapers were not going to give you gain equity as the game goes on.
They definitely lose value as the game goes on. You're right about that. But, like, they definitely retain higher equity than just dying to Zerglings like that. You know, that
we want to keep them around for later. Maybe you can, you know, bum rush an expansion or something like that.
Like, let them tank a few hits in a battle even.
Something, anything, right?
But yeah, that was a little bit painful. You do see some really fancy micro here, utilizing you know, the vision of them jumping up and throwing some grenades. It's actually killing quite a few.
I think he needs to take it easy with that. To be frank, all he has to do is wait for mutas to come out, and the mutas will drive this all back. Then again, if he does drive this away with lings and mutas are not revealed just yet, that's pretty helpful.
Yeah. Well, continuing to try to do some damage here with these Reapers. Not a whole lot left to do, though. We do have a medevac coming up. Quite a few Marines also.
Okay, the Reaper's going to come over here again. Going to try to intercept. Okay, now, granted he lost a bunch of those Reapers. He's actually taken out a lot of Zerglings here.
Yeah.
By the way, about 10 mutas coming up, and there is a medevac coming on over here with a push. Did he take out enough lings to make this attack effective?
Well, there's not that many lings left, and this is a lot of Marines, but he does have those mutas coming out as well.
By the way, he does have stim here, too.
Oh, wow, this is actually pretty scary.
Whoa,
putting a lot of damage out. Oh, my God. Quite a few queens going out as well. The spine being caught.
What is Rogue doing?
Wow, and Tasia dealing some huge amounts of damage right now. Rogue in a lot of trouble. He does have lings coming out, and he will clean this up, but he lost a lot of drones, a lot of queens. He lost some mutas. He's had to make so many lings this game. Taja's doing a good job.
Rogue again with the sloppy play.
Yeah.
You know, we saw a Spinecrawler running through an army, which doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah.
You know, we saw the
Queens just ran right up and died.
Yeah. Granted, I think Rogue still had a better start overall. I'm getting worried. You know, it doesn't really matter what your strategy is. If you're making like 4 or 5 sloppy, you know, micro plays, it doesn't really matter what you have. I mean, if you're just continuously losing more than you should, that will pile up.
Yeah, it's kind of a rough position after all that. Like, Taja's taking his third with good time here. He's very close as far as the worker count goes. Look at this. He's got 4 Liberators at home, so that's pretty good. You know, these Muta's not going to be able to find too much damage, I don't think. He is actually starting to move out.
Note this style here. We've seen this already a little bit from Journey. Not heavily dependent on medevacs, which means every time you stim, if Zerg retreats, you're giving up health. But at the same time, if you are able to, you can just power through their army and probably crush a lot of expansions.
If you kill that army, it's going to be a little bit rough on him for sure. We do have a pretty decent upgrade lead for Taja right now. He has that +1 attack against no upgrades, so that's really the one that counts.
Kind of surprised he's doing this. I think doing a muted drive-by would have been better and just taking out SCVs. I mean, if Taja takes out that engineering bay, that's really Taja's misplay and not your brilliance. So, yeah, again, Rogue just kind of playing a little bit weird here. Starting to come up now, scanning.
All right, quite a few Marines actually stemming and running up. We do have the Mutas coming back, but trying to be caught right here. Nice flank there with the Marines. We do have a bunch of Banelings coming down. Banelings being not quite ready.
Oh, man, that is the connection you needed to make. Taja's army being taken out very effectively. However, the Liberators, there's not enough Mutas to contest them here. Note only 1 Liberation Zone, so you can still combat them if they try to dive back in. Taja's still very intent on pushing this expansion, and this is a very frightening place for Rogue to be in right now.
Yeah, it certainly is, and he does come in with these Mutas, but the Liberators, none of them are actually in siege mode, really, so he actually just destroys some Mutas there. Lings and Bane's kind of running around kind of slowly and being picked off. GG by Rogue.
Rogue is having a bad day, guys.
He is. Taja's got to be happy with that one. You know what? Taja's a strong TVT player. If he can get through Rogue here, maybe he can get through Journey as well.
Yeah, I would love to see Taja TVT Legacy of the Void.
Imagine if Taja goes in the round of 16.
Ooh, that would be so good.
That would get some people talking, okay?
Especially for our viewers, man.
Yeah.
They love Taja.
I mean, the last time that he tried for GSL when he was in Code S, like, he got just destroyed, and then he lost in Code A, and that was it.
Yeah, he got shish kebab.
And to be honest, in Code A, he really didn't impress that much, but it was TVP. I think he doesn't care for that matchup right now that much. But he didn't impress too much there, but hey, that was some solid play against Rogue. I do think Rogue is a bit off here today, but you've got to bring your best.
Give Rogue your energy. He is having a bad day, unfortunately, in one of the most important days of his life. He may be knocked out of the GSL Code S. Rogue, we're so used to see him play so well. But right now, it seems like every player's got his number, and he is not in the zone.
Well, let's see if he can pull it back, Tasteless.
It's time. Our countdown started. Let's see if Rogue can come back, or if he's going to be our first player knocked out of the GSL Code S. In the upper right, in the blue.
Team Liquid, 패자.
In the bottom left, in the blue, in the red. Oh no,
Taja's everywhere.
Taja's exposed as colorblind. Okay, we are on. Oh, indeed.
Oh, look at that.
Interesting. Yes.
Well,
new strategies.
Yeah, this is a very quick gas and pool. You know, going up against a command center first play. Does go into the hatchery, so I wonder. Is this just for quick speed?
I think I read somewhere that the command center can't make Marines. If that's true,
Well,
then he might be in trouble. But then again, is this really an indicator of any kind of aggression? Because we actually had an SSL. We had I think it was Sue do some really weird like one hatch like cheese and just make it work. I was wondering if it was going to be that.
I mean, it could be just something very, very cheesy. It could be something that's super safe. He's afraid of like three racks Reaper or something. But I think he's going to put on some aggression here for sure. He starts the speed. I mean, he cancels the speed right thereafter, which actually makes a lot of sense. If you don't need the speed, like if this was a safety play, then don't get the speed. Like spend that money on drones and whatnot. Don't have Larva just sitting there. You've already put yourself economically behind going for such an early gas.
Okay, the Ling is now chasing down this one SCV.
You know,
I think you're right. I think he was just afraid of anything weird from Tasia.
I think if I'm Tasia here, I'm like, oh, could I make it into the round of 16? Like, I have a sick advantage economy-wise here.
Yeah. Okay, the Wallen is going to be up, so the Lings cannot peek inside and will be forced down the ramp. The later Ling speed has started.
Yep. Do want to still get that. At least you can threaten some things. I don't think he's going to try to be aggressive, but we'll see about that. Queen's going to be popping out here shortly.
Now, we don't have any third base up yet. There are a lot of different cheeses that Zerg can do on 2 bases. There are actually a lot of different cheeses Zerg can do on 3 bases, to be frank. So let's see what he's got in store for us. And I'm assuming this is going to go right into a starport here, and we are finally going to see Tasia do the more traditional TVZ style of play.
And this is going to be great against what he's against. Like, the fact that we had such quick Zergling speed, by getting a bunch of Hellions out and just kind of like patrolling around, like even if Rogue tries to take a third base, if he goes into Hellion Banshee, a third base with no creep at it, I mean, there's a lot of harassment, a lot of pushing pressure there.
He is getting a Roach Warren. Let's see what we got in store here. Because, you know, if he does do anything crazy and if we're going for some kind of play where Terran is mostly going to have his attacking units outside of his base being aggressive, then, you know, he might catch him off guard.
Yeah, could very well be.
Cloaked Banshee, a little bit of an older build, actually. This is not exactly what I thought it was going to be. I thought it might be like the tank medevac play, but he's doing this build's good too. It's just kind of an anachronism compared to what we normally see.
It's definitely not as popular right now, but I think it's still a solid counter to something like early Zergling speed before your expansion.
Yeah, it may be responsive in that regard to that strategy. And it might not have really been like a game where Tasia's like, this is what I'm going to do no matter what. Kind of like what Zest did, where it seemed like he was going to get those Tempests no matter what and cut the map in half. He might have actually read the opener here and said, well, this unit comp will prevent me from dying to what this guy might throw at me here.
Totally. Well, we do have more Queens on the way here. Pretty solid amount at the moment. Tasia just kind of macroing up, getting that third command center, putting down his double engineering bay. We have a few Ravagers coming out, definitely very important. Some Spores as well.
Okay, here comes the Banshee now. And Queens are ready. I don't think this is going to do much of anything.
No, not too much. Like, as Cloak finishes, he'll be able to find just slightly more damage, I guess, but...
Kind of cute from Rogue here. Rogue, though, not pulling away these Zerglings. Okay, there he goes. And we have the double Evo. So we are going to go into a long and arduous game, Artosis.
Yeah, most likely you are right about that. Like, Tasia may be able to take a bit of an advantage at some point just because the economy's a little bit slow for Rogue. But
he's got to be, like, really careful, man. That Banshee is so low. But he's, trying to get some value out of it by just harassing and moving around. Stim is finishing. We have 1-1 on the way here for both players with Tasia in a slight lead.
Yeah, and it looks like Rogue is going into that style that I think is really nice. He has 3 Ravagers here to kind of deal with any Liberators that might come out. Doesn't look like we'll see any right now. But going into those upgrades for his Roaches, teching up a little bit. And I think he's going to play a very defensive macro game here. Just try to push that creep spread out as best he can and take some nice defense against any harassment that comes in.
Okay, 2 Banshees up here. Although, again, well, if he takes out drones like that this is doing, the dirty work for him. Oh! Nicely played. Or not even played. Nicely placed.
Ooh,
Spore.
yeah.
See the save there? That's what happens if you cast it for years, guys. You can say the wrong thing.
And it's actually right
outmaneuver
anyways.
it. Yeah, and it's right anyways.
You've never said the wrong thing, just things that were taken in the wrong context by the viewers.
The viewers weren't ready for some of the statements I make, Artosis.
Yeah. You're like, Tayshia's in the red. I'm like, you guys just don't understand. He means he's in debt.
Infestation pit here. He's getting there. He's getting to that composition that can, in fact, engage a pretty sophisticated tear and push. And, one thing about when you're getting the Ravengers and the Infestors is if you actually get the Fungal and get the Corrosive Bile, it's not like you're trading anything.
You're giving, like, energy and a cooldown.
You're just blowing their shit up.
That's
not
right.
losing anything.
Yeah, it's super cost efficient, which is, of course, why I like it so much.
Yeah.
Oh, we do have a drop coming down. 1-1 is about to finish for these Roaches, just a little bit late, which helps him trade a bit better here. But as the Ravagers' extra Roaches come up, he is going to have to lift up and get out of here.
And I think the turtley style here from Zerg is totally fine. Because most cases, if you're playing like this as Zerg, you're going to be coming up ahead in the engagements. It's really tough for Terran to come in. There's like maybe, 2 to 3 places you can drop at, and Zerg is fully aware of that as you're going to come in there. So they just stay back like a trapdoor spider and wait for you to get in, and then they eat you.
And look, Rogue is doing exactly this type of style now. He's getting those Infestors. He's getting the Hive. He's going to want to go into Ultralisks from here. And it's going to be up to Tayshia to keep the pressure on. If he can just kind of like keep the bases down a little bit so that you can't really make the army that you need. If he can kill up a few drones here and there, keep Rogue busy, then he's going to be in a good spot.
I wasn't checking the production tab. Does he not have the Infestors out?
No, he has Infestors out.
He does have the Infestors out. Okay.
I believe he has 4.
Okay, I think 3 to 4 is the number you want at this point in time,
absolutely.
too.
I agree with that.
And then from there, he starts to bank the rest of his gas for Ultras. In case you guys are wondering why the Infestor number seems like it's kind of fixed, it actually is kind of fixed.
Yeah,
because,
it totally is.
When you're on 4 bases, you can support Ultras, but it's not like you're making it rain Ultras.
Yeah.
You're not like
You're not making it rain.
You're not making it rain Ultras. You're not like baller Ultra user.
Yeah.
Buying Ultras you don't even need.
Yeah.
Because you're not even happy.
Oh, wow.
You don't even know how to be happy with all those minerals and gas.
Like, no matter how many Ultras
gas.
you buy, it's not going to make you happy.
Yeah. But you're like, I don't know, I guess I'll just buy some more.
You got to learn to be happy.
I might even make some corruptors here just for the hell of it,
Yeah, totally. This is very deep stuff, Tasteless.
Well, I'm ripping on that joke. Terran is losing stuff all over the place.
Yeah, nice little harassment there. And
okay, there it is.
Ooh.
Oh, my word.
Ouch. Tayshia taking lots of damage right there. Trying to move forward with the Siege Tank base push, which is all right. When you're playing against Roach Ravager, that can be strong. But as we have Adrenal Glands finishing up, as we have Chitinous Plating and Ultras coming into play as well, this becomes a lot harder to use correctly.
Yeah, it can be a bit clunky.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of players try to approach this in different ways. Like, for instance, Ghosts seem to be quite good defensively against an Ultralisk-based composition, but don't work very well when you're attacking into it. Liberators can be all right. Widow Mines can be pretty good.
And Artosis, hold on a second. All right, that's how you cast a game. You just stop talking. I'm like, everybody quiet. Everybody quiet, the battle's happened. Is he not watching these at all? I guess not. So one thing I was going to say is we do get this weird phase in TDZ where the players can't really kill each other. Like, Terran has Liberators, and they can't, Zerg can't attack into it, and then Zerg has Infestors, so it gets to kind of a funny point, and I don't think it's really been figured out yet, or maybe it hasn't. We haven't been able to be here and cast it, but
I think it's still definitely being worked on. Like the precise type of micro, the precise types of attacks. Because see here, he's making some Liberators and some Ghosts right now. And definitely we've seen, like, for instance, Byun has tried a lot of Ghost play against the Ultralisks. It's just when you're moving out on the map with them, it gets a little bit tricky, especially because there's Fungal Growth out, which interrupts the snipe channel. And when you do that, I mean, your army gets rolled.
Yeah, it's now time for Zerg to start to push out. Both players are maxing out, but supplies are not what is actually important in this matchup at this phase of the game, because like we've said, one fungal or a couple fungals and a couple corrosive biles, or you know, Zerg overstepping into liberation points and the supply, well, it doesn't.
It can shift it dramatically.
Absolutely.
Well, we do have a little bit of a drop going on here. This is the type of move that Tasia does need to be making right now. It doesn't necessarily need to do a lot of damage. What it needs to do is kind of give the run around. And the thing is, what I feel like I'm seeing here is he did that drop. He had another medevac that was kind of towards the upper left. I'm not sure what happened to that, and then he drops the main. He needs to, for instance, hit that hatchery at the top as all those units are coming in. Maybe even just with another couple medevacs. But that's the type of move he needs to do right now. He can't be allowing a 5th base when we have Rogue on, like, perfect tech. Like, Rogue is making an insanely strong army.
It seems like Rogue might have gotten his groove back here. Again, we haven't had a ton of engagements, which is really where Rogue was choking earlier on.
All right, well, Tasia trying to kind of lure him in right now. Good spread of siege tanks. Has a couple Liberators in there, but really the Ghosts are going to be the ones that have to do the damage. And so far, Tasia has shown a lot of skill with Ghosts, so that's a good thing. Like, I'm excited to see if he can make this kind of like, this point
assassination.
Wow, that's great.
Okay,
oh my God.
He can actually attack it now.
Oh, yes, he can.
Do it. Do it.
That was amazing.
Yes. Yes.
All right, well, he's doing his best here. A lot of snipes going off, and without infestors to interrupt them, it works like a charm.
Oh my God.
Rogue is in so much trouble right now.
He's coming in now, gunning down so many roaches and ravagers. They're only good if they combo with the infestors. Otherwise, you are D-E-D. Deed.
Yes.
Yes.
You are deed. Well, this is it. Like, GG, Tasia takes out Rogue 2-0. Very surprising. Nice play by Tasia with the Ghosts here so far tonight. Rogue absolutely is a bit off tonight. This is not the Rogue I'm used to watching.
Rogue, I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, he's out. That's it. He's out of Code S. Like, this guy has made so many top 8s. He's played so well in the past. He's even played well recently. Just tonight was not it.
I mean, I don't know what this means for his future, man. Is he a pro gamer that can't do it anymore? Are we going to have to take him and turn him into glue, Artosis? What happens, man?
Jello.
Jello. That's right. That's what.
Both.
Yeah, you can make. They make Jello and glue out of horses, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
What if we're like wrong? Well, there's only thousands of people that know we're idiots now. So we are going to go to a short break. When we come back, we're going to go on to our final match and see which player will move on here in the GSL Code S.
Mr. V, it's yours. Yeah, and right now we want to try to move back.
언제나 있는 그대로의 맑고 깨끗함을 지켜가라고. 겨울을 잊은 강물이 내게 말했다. 맑고 깨끗한 칠성사이다.
We are hope.
honor.
We are courage.
We are justice.
We are compassion. We are determination.
We are harmony. We are Overwatch.
회의가 좀 늦게 끝나서.
아 그래요? 괜찮아요. 그냥 게임 몇 판 하면서 기다리고 있을게요.
아씨 뭐 하는 거야, 아무도. 아 오라고 좀. 뭐 철 만들었나 부서지지도 않네.
치킨 먹고 갈래? 치킨만 먹고 가라. 한 번 맛보면 매니아가 된다. 치킨 매니아. 자네가 그 치킨 매니아인가?
웬열? 와, 움직임이 끝내주는데. 진짜 부드럽게 움직이네. 플렉스볼은 굴곡진 덕선에도 막힘이 없거든. 발음 조심하자. 나 덕선이라 그랬냐? 덕선에도 막힘이 없다고. 저게 면도기로 가능한 거네. 역시 대세답네. 대세가 뭐야? 전세 같은 거? 요새 애들 다 쓰지? 그게 대세야. 그래가지고 내가 저거 쓰잖아. 그래서 나도 저거 쓰잖아. 선우는 뭐 쓰지? 보라 누나한테 물어봐. 태기는 못 써. 덕선, 너 나한테 왜 그러냐? 덕선이는 아직도 좋아. 야, 마이콜은 못 쓰냐?
2,500만 명이 응답한 플렉스볼 아직도 안 써보셨나요? 질렛, 남자를 위한 최상의 선택.
K3에 지치지 않는 열정으로 Passion is my fuel. The new K3.
신제품 브라운 시리즈 3를 소개합니다. 몇 번의 움직임만으로도 빠른 밀착 면도와 최적의 피부 편안함을 선사합니다. 전에 없던 빠른 속도를 경험하라. 신제품 브라운 시리즈 3. Only from Brown.
땀, 타협하지 않기에 멈추지 않는다. 말이 아닌 땀으로 보여줄 것이다. 땀 흘리는 순간에 게토레 게토레이드.
지난 시즌 우승자를 제거했습니다.
I'm sun, star and solar. It's mine.
대결에서 너무 져가지고 아 진짜 돌인가?
항상 실패는 잊혀지기 마련입니다. 사람들이 기억하고 떠올리는 건 승리한 자손에 쥐어진 트로피뿐일지도 모르죠. 패배에 낙담을 하고 고개를 떨군 그 모습은 어떤 누구도 끝까지 기억하진 않을 겁니다. 하지만 패배를 두려워하지 않습니다. 포기하지 않습니다. 그들은 다시 한번 달려나가기 위해 노력합니다. 경쟁에서 이기고 환호하며 관중들에게 박수를 받는 그 짜릿한 순간을 항상 머릿속에 그리기 때문이죠. 그래서 오늘도 그들은 여기로 향합니다.
Hot 6 GSL Season 1 Quarters. Hot 6 GSL Season 1 Quarters.
It's time for our final match. Tasia against Journey.
Not what I was expecting, to be honest.
Me too.
I'm excited for this. Journey is playing out of his mind, but I mean, Tasia has more experience than basically anyone, and
true.
He's getting by. He had a good game with Zest. He had a bad game with Zest. Against Rogue, he had a couple good games. Can he do this? Can he pull this out right now?
Now, Rogue is definitely a big factor in the makeup of this tournament because he had really sloppy play throughout. Okay, so I almost feel like we need to just discount him.
Yeah.
Like, when we look at this, it's not the Rogue that we normally see.
It definitely wasn't.
Tasia had a great game against Zest in Game 2.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. Journey also overall had some very impressive plays. So I think this might be a pretty even match for these two.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know what to say about this one. I mean, Tasia's had very good TVT in the past. Journey has shown us good TVT lately, and tonight he's playing out of his mind. These are the best games I've seen from Journey. So I guess we wait and see, Tasteless.
Game 1 will go to Dusk Towers. How will they play? TVT has become so action-packed.
Oh yeah, it really has.
It really,
it's very
really
different
has.
from what it used to be. Which could be a good thing for Tasia. I mean, this guy is definitely a guy that's enjoyed running around the map.
These guys both play very fast, very good at harass. Tactically, two of the best Terrans in the world right now. This should be a very entertaining match. Things could spiral out of control very quickly. TVT, especially early on, very unforgiving, especially if you're losing medevacs and tanks.
Yeah, it really, really is. Now, will the tasteless factor hold up? Will the aggressor have the advantage here? We're going to have to see.
Yeah, the tasteless cannon. Will it hold up?
Tasteless
the countdown has started. The plebs are watching. The pro gamers are ready. Let's do this.
Wow.
In the bottom left in the blue, he is
Team Liquid, Peza.
That countdown is like the beginning of Space Mountain at Disneyland, where it's like counting you down and then it just shoots you in the hole, and the music starts like, wow! And you put your little hands up, and then you realize you can't see anything, and they might get chopped off, so you put your hands down.
I actually know exactly what you're talking about.
Sure, man.
Well,
Everyone's been on Space Mountain.
Maybe I will be that guy to lose my fingers in Space Mountain and not be able to play StarCraft like I ever could before. Yeah. Are you a fan of roller coasters?
Love roller coasters.
I love roller coasters. I haven't been on one in a long time. But
not other rides, really? Like, basically anything that spins, I will just puke.
Oh, I can't do it.
But
I can't do
roller
it,
coaster, any roller coaster I like.
Oh, Disaster in. I see what you did there.
Wow.
Look at that. That's a big thing in Korea, is taking two words and hammering them together. There's a lot of Korean words where they just take two Korean words and they just smash them together.
Like tastosis.
And, yeah. And then, but they do it a lot of times, sometimes in English, and it doesn't always work. It can work, but it's not as common of a practice. Okay, so the Marine comes out. We have a quick command center.
Like 6-story tasteless.
The tasteless in his 6 stories.
You're saying
guys.
that people in Korea like to put words together? Wow.
I can keep it coming, guys. I can do this
It
all
is true,
night.
actually.
Yeah,
I've definitely seen some.
And it is a 6-story, guys. Okay, so
we all care a lot.
We have the Reaper coming out now. Headed southbound here from Journey.
Yeah. Tasia actually taking a slightly faster command center. But, of course, it makes his gases and thus his factory significantly slower. So I generally do like tech openings in TVT, even before, like, even as far back as the Wings of Liberty, I've already looked at tech openings and been like, okay, I kind of like this. If you do this right, it feels really solid.
Oh, good.
Tasia is a player that very oftentimes just prefers to take faster expansions.
So Teja's staying back right now and beginning his tech. We've seen the tank medevac combination have huge impacts on how TVT works. I mean, suddenly pushes can move at like triple the rate. It used to be that always a push, especially in TVT, was like a very slow crawl, often a very slow juke and jive around. It's not the case anymore.
Yeah,
now it spirals out of control very quickly. And it really just does come down to who's faster and who is better at outmaneuvering the other player.
Yeah, and who will that be out of these two?
I want to say Journey, but I might just be totally wrong.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Journey has, like, his play has actually been, like, really, really impressive tonight. I'm like, really happy with what we've seen so far. So I'm actually really thinking he'll take it, but, you know, the thing is, you got to be careful about counting out Tasia. Like, the thing is, every time he hits GSL, I count him out immediately. Because
well, we've been seeing the GSL players do so much better.
It's been a while since Tasia's prime.
Now that we have all the Koreans back here, or almost all of them, we're going to see, you know, truly the best of the best fighting. But it does appear that if you're staying in Korea grinding, you're just going to end up a better player than if you're on an airplane so often, traveling to events. And all that. I mean, being here and grinding, you just get more playtime.
It definitely
and you're on
the
a better server. You're around other players who are also very good.
Well, we do have Cloak coming out here for Journey, going for that Cloak Banshee play. And then over on Tasia's side with that very fast third command center. And just kind of keeping his economy up and making very defensive units like the Cyclone, Siege Tank, Viking.
Yeah, you got to be careful not to overextend in a moment like this. And he's going to drop right over here at the ramp. I love this.
All right, well, he's going to get these depots, it's looking like. He's really going to need to get up here with the Siege Tank to try to bust through there. And looks like he is trying to get that medevac right now. Does target it with the Cyclone, but the Cyclone does get targeted down as well.
Okay, he will eventually take out this tank over here.
Viking lands. Hey guys, am I late? It's like, yeah, you're late. What?
It is pretty crazy how long that animation does take. I wonder what it would look like if they changed that so that it was faster. Because you can see initially when they were designing the game, they thought, well, this could be really powerful, maybe even broken. But then it turns out it's actually a fairly innocuous ability.
Yeah, the landing.
Yeah, I mean, they're already just not that good on the ground. I wonder what it would be like if it just snap came down.
I think that Vikings would be so much better.
I think so.
So much better, because all you have to do is find someone out of position, and then you do damage and bam, land up, take off. But they take long enough to land that it's like they can be halfway through land, you run your SCVs, and you're fine.
A battle is already decided.
Yeah.
By the time the animation's almost done.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's trying with this Banshee over here. He may be able to pin this Banshee down and kill it. Because I thought I saw a Viking up there.
He definitely does have one.
Okay, yeah, he's got one over there.
Well, Journey going to fly out of that scan.
Oop, miscontrol there by Tasia. Missing one or two volleys.
Yeah, to kill a Banshee under a scan, it either has to have damage on it, or you have to have 3 Vikings, so.
Meanwhile, a second Banshee over here getting, well, actually not getting kills yet, as the SCVs narrowly escaped into the refinery, making that Banshee having done nothing. Okay.
Well, in the meantime, yeah, no,
it really didn't.
I'm like,
actually,
wow, he kind of bruised everything.
Yeah, the game might have almost looked better if that had never happened. But
it's like when the Widow Mines missed my probe that goes in the simulator. I'm like, yeah.
That's when you lie to yourself. You're like, I am good.
This guy isn't as good as me. Can't even hit my probe. It's too fast for him.
Okay.
All right, 1-1 on the way for both sides. Stim going to finish. Very similar play from both these guys.
Yeah, they've gone about it slightly different, but they're ending up at about the same place anyways.
Well, the main difference that we see here strategically would be that Tasia is focusing a little bit more heavily on his bioforces, right? Whereas the second factory is coming up quicker here for Journey, so he's really wanting to pump out a lot of siege tanks.
Well, he's coming back now. Probably will need to repair that tank. And it's going to be the turn now for Journey to seize map control. There was a very back in the old days in Brood War, people would use the siege tank, medevac, well, what we're seeing now, they would use that with a shuttle reaver, keeping that just outside of range, and so you can always just kind of damage.
Like that's
whatever.
a great move right there, right? Like Taja's just moving up the map, and bam, a couple volleys come. You know, takes some damage, loses some energy, loses a couple Marines, and then you just pick up and move it somewhere else.
That's right.
Kind of makes you paranoid as well. There's actually like, you know, this is something that doesn't really get talked about a whole lot, and when it does, I think it gets butchered a lot about what the mentality that occurs with a move like that, or any move in StarCraft.
Let's talk about that because we got a little bit of downtime here. Go ahead.
Well,
please.
just like, for instance, putting that fear into him, or like just the fear of having the Dark Shrine when we see a Dark Shrine scouted and you just don't make a DT or something. Yeah, you can't catch that. It's too fast. But like anything like that, there's countless ways to describe like the different things that can happen that like change the mentality of the game.
It forces a player to be more guarded and cautious, and oftentimes take less risks, even though there might not be a risk out there if they're not in position.
Yeah.
By the way, their sentry towers finish at the exact same time.
Yeah, and
it's pretty funny.
Like, for instance, if you know that Journey's going to be out on the map with a couple siege tanks that are going to be poking at your Marines are going to move around the map a little bit less. Even if he went home at that point, you don't actually know, and it's going to add a little bit of paranoia into your game as Tasia. So it's like an interesting little side thing. It doesn't necessarily like decide the game or anything, but yeah, I don't know. StarCraft has a lot to it.
Tasia seems to be confident he can come out on the map. This is actually dangerous for both players, moving out on the map like this. If you walk into the siege tank volleys, you're going to lose. Oh, my God, or that.
Ooh,
okay.
That's brutal.
Game one might actually just go to him on that front because without the tanks there, he just loses.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. Journey does pick up his siege tanks and run back his fourth base. Definitely going to be in trouble here.
Problem is he can actually just start dropping tanks right over here, and I think he just breaks him.
Yeah, losing those two siege tanks certainly was a really big deal. Now, we do have Tasia dropping some siege tanks down here. They miss a couple volleys there, going towards the left, towards some Marines that Journey has.
The SCVs are actually trapped over here. They have to walk through the tank's fire line.
Oof. Losing some extras.
Oh, and he spotted that drop, or at least he should have seen that on the mini-map. And this is where it gets a little bit scary. Now, note, Tasia's not on a fourth base here, but certainly he has better supply.
Yeah, he does have a fourth command center, so he'll be able to take it eventually.
He kind of messed that up, but it was still pretty sick.
Taking a nice position here. Journey's going to have to break through that. A lot of pressure on him, but this counter drop actually very, very nice right now. Definitely is getting quite a few SCVs.
Okay, it's still somewhat of a trade here.
20 SCVs down for Tasia.
Yeah,
Tasia's economy is taking a real beating right now.
That means that economically, Journey could start to come out ahead, especially if he secures his fourth base, because he has more SCVs and he's going to be mining for more territories.
Yeah, he's definitely down army-wise. This was kind of hard for him. Like, he traded a bunch of his army for economy and then also attacked in that entrenched position for Tasia while Tasia was sieging him up. So he's behind as far as that goes, which means I think he has to stay on the defensive here a little bit. Tasia has a great medevac count, has many more Marines as well.
Yeah, very true. Note, good scans here. He needs to be on top of that. Make sure he knows where the opponent's medevacs are, because he has to actually be one step ahead. Oh, nice. Actually jukes back over there, getting just a split second of a drop-off earlier, allowing the siege tank fire to come down initially.
Well, he does siege up another tank here, has a couple Marines in the front to tank those hits, and this was actually good defense by Journey, considering the high ground was Tasia's.
Yeah, no kidding. Nicely done. Tasia is attempting to expand on his own down here. Still behind in workers right now. 65 for Journey, 49 for Tasia.
Well, Tasia moving up. He's rallying quite a few units across the map. Journey slowly but surely trying to catch up here as far as that army supply goes. He is getting 3-3 also.
Okay, he's going to come around again here. Looks like he wants to try to go onto this high ground, and he's going to do it!
Oh, but we have Journey's tanks drop very quickly as well, and he has good spotting here with that scan.
He actually should just drop on top of that.
Yeah, that would actually, well, there's
maybe
a planetary
not.
there. And
Tasis would have lost the game if he was in Tasis.
Oh, I got it! And then I'm like, why did you do that? It's the only thing you couldn't do.
Tasis, you know, his Marines have to be somewhere. I'm like, I guess I got to go back to casting, guys. this
Tasis' brief foray back into pro gaming has ended quite quickly.
Oh, man. If only Tasus had played Zerg instead. Tasus is Zerg. Tasus was so scary when he played Zerg that if an attack was coming at him, I'd just send one of my overlords across the map, and they would immediately turn around and go back and try to stop it. I was just too intimidating.
Yeah.
Now, this next attack
sounds like
here.
Macca Prime you're talking about right now.
Well, the upgrade advantage is going to go to Journey in a little bit here, which is pretty important.
Yeah, and he's at 3 factories against 2 for a bit, so he's catching right up and going to be passing Tasia as far as like the strength of his army, I guess. But Tasia has a lot more medevacs, so actually he's caught up in medevacs pretty well. But Tasia does have a lot more medevacs. Just it matters how many you have for those tanks to ferry him around.
This may just go to the 5th base here. I'm not sure if either player can attack into each other. You can see Tasia has a small force set up to counterattack if Journey leaves. Journey hasn't left yet. Well, now he is leaving, but Tasia... Okay, he's going back. Never mind. See, there he goes. Oh, no, he's turning around now. I'll just play-by-play that little army.
A little bit of indecision, but...
it's like Tasia that's on patrol. It's just walking back and forth.
He's looking for a base to be taken there. He wants to snipe a command center, maybe expecting the 5th base to be taken, but... not happening for Journey quite yet. Tasia going to back up with this army. I like that Tasia's trying to sneak a base.
Yeah, have you noticed that they're sending out these spotter Marines? I've been casting too much this week. Sorry, I'm like actually kind of losing my voice. These spotting Marines that come out and try to check for the rest of the army to make sure they don't overstep and walk into siege tank fire. And we see another one of these spotter Marines picked off right now.
Well, you know, we do have that +3 attack being finished up. He's going to have that +3 armor in a second as well, so definitely a nice little upgrade advantage. He even has that +2 weapons about to finish before +1 for Tasia, so Journey definitely gaining some advantages, but Tasia with that hidden base can have quite a nice economy coming up.
They are both maxed out now. Somebody's going to have to act somewhere.
Oh my god, 17 siege tanks against 8.
Wow.
He does not have the medevacs to quite ferry all of them around, but that's a lot of siege tanks.
Yeah, if he could balance that out. Maybe he doesn't want actually 17 medevacs. Maybe that's a bit excessive. But
well, I mean, that would be a lot of supply, right?
Yeah,
like,
then he's not going to have much of an army.
What's
not
17 times 5? That's like...
Really putting yourself on the spot here.
That's almost 100 supply in siege tanks and things to carry them.
Okay, another drop over here. And he's dropping his own tanks down here. I don't know why he stimmed those Marines to come up there. There's actually nothing that they could do other than die.
I like that it's saying and put myself on the spot, saying what's 17 times 5. Tasteless. What's 5 plus 7?
It's 12.
Whoa, you're so good.
I'm a genius. All right, here we go. Gonna move back here, just stay out of that tank range. He already obliterated a lot of the SCVs over there. However, Journey is still actually ahead in workers. It seems like Tasia never remade a lot of the workers he lost earlier on.
Yeah, he still has a very low count, and you know that could end up biting him in the butt a little bit because he's taken a lot of command centers. By the way, I like that he's made that top one into a planetary. He's like, okay, this is at least hard for you to deal with if you find it.
Yeah, you don't just free win this if you drop, you know, 1 medevac full Marines. Uh-oh! Journey did not seem to be looking there for a second. A few Vikings here to try to drive back the medevacs as well.
Journey is 40 army supply down as well, so you can't really bust through, I don't think. By the way, a lot of rings on the map right now.
Did you notice that he missed an upgrade? Oh, he's actually just behind on it. Okay. There was an attack upgrade that was a little bit later here.
I'm like, I know, neither of them have Neo Steel frames. It's so weird.
Isn't that funny?
All right, it looks like we're going to have a transition here from Journey. He's adding starports.
Hold up, big attack. He's going to try to unload right over here.
Well, I don't know if that's
I don't know about this at all. There's so many siege tanks. And now, the magician Tasia with his amazing mass Marine disappearing trick. Look at how much blood is there.
That's a lot of blood.
Wow.
That was a massacre. The magician Tasia.
The amazing Tasia.
With his assistant, Journey. Guys, give it up for Journey and Tasia.
For the next trick here, Journey will saw Tasia's head off. He will saw him in half. Okay. Well, things were going okay until he lost all of his stuff, but he does have enough funding to come back and balance this. Again, though, the worker count a little bit behind here, so you know, if Journey were to do the same thing, he could bounce back a little bit more quickly.
Yeah, we do have Tasia actually making a very aggressive move here once again. Tasia wants blood. Well, he's getting blood every time his Marines stim in, but
I think the problem here is we have one player with more tanks. I don't think Tasia's fully aware of how behind he is on tanks by comparison. Even if he's really good at dropping, there's just always more tanks for Journey,
Yeah.
so eventually everything dies on the ground for Tasia.
And Journey has +3 on those tanks against +1 for Tasia, so that's a really big difference as well. And Journey is going into Sky Terran a lot more heavily than we actually see from Tasia. Like, Tasia is making some Vikings, but when you're both making air, the guy that makes more is way ahead. You're better off not making air than making less air.
Yes, that is true. Oh, he's going to try to go around again.
I'm getting a little bit worried here for Tasia, but you know what? He's maneuvering around, trying to find somewhere to get some damage in.
Liberation Zone set up over here. Marines are going to come forward. Can they get that Liberator, though? They do.
Yeah, actually, he loses like 3 Liberators there. A little bit sloppy with the range in which he put them up.
Thing is, overall, though, he had more Vikings at the end after that happened, so he still managed to drive out that drop. You know, ideally, Journey would want to be in the position Tasia's at least has the opportunity to be in to drop on that high ground. Keep in mind, though, that base is eventually going to mine out, and then that place doesn't matter.
Yeah, that spot is no longer like really important. But both these guys just expanding like mad at this point. Tell me that Legacy of the Void isn't way better than HOTS and
Okay,
Wings of
I'll
Liberty.
do that right now. I think Legacy of the Void is way better.
Legacy of the Better. That's what it should have been called.
Yeah, you're right. That
It's
was
like
some
Pliny
slip of the
the
tongue.
Elder and like
that was
Legacy
my
of the Better
Freudian
and-
slip. It is just Legacy of the Better. Okay, he's dropping in here now.
All right, this is kind of a cool move to do. Well, it will get cleaned up. That's not a lot of siege tanks to hold on, but he has the damage output in these Marines. Definitely can boost out and save a lot of units.
Doing a good job. Oh, the Vikings!
Ooh,
Pretty
that's
huge.
a nice move right there. And in fact, Journey is not taking this seriously. Tasia getting a ton of damage done with this now, way more than I thought he would.
Yeah, he's going to rip his heart out here. I mean, he takes out all these production facilities, and that's going to be a very tough thing for Journey to recover from. Meanwhile, pushing across the map, landing the Vikings.
Oh.
Things might fall apart here for Journey. He could lose in the next minute or two here if he doesn't manage to get this game to stabilize.
Luckily, he's made a lot of planetaries, so that's definitely going to help him out in slowing this down at least. But that was, like, that drop did a lot for Tasia right there. It's kind of a gross situation for Journey. He has to rebuild some of this production, I would say.
Yeah, he certainly does.
And really, it's Terran production is by far the most annoying to rebuild. Like, Zerg production, well, I mean, they just can produce.
Well, Zerg and Protoss, they remake it, and it's basically the same.
Yeah, and
thing.
well, Protoss is like you can add gateways. You're like, okay, that's not that big a deal.
Or even if you lose tech, you're like, okay, whatever.
Putting up factories and like barracks with add-ons and stuff, that is a pain
it's
in
also
your
it's
ass.
much more critical where Terran has made their production facilities. And, you know, the main is normally the safest, or at least the toughest to break.
Oh, here we go. He is charging in once again
my
here.
God.
Big stem forward, taking out all those siege tanks. And now he's like, he is way ahead of Journey in supply, and Journey looks like he is starting to fret here.
Yeah, I think that's actually, I mean, it might have been the beginning of a killing blow in that drop of the main here, but he's going to be able to close it out now. He's actually breached this really important position. He could massacre all the SCVs to the right and to the bottom right and lock Journey in. And I think we're going to be going into game number 2 momentarily here.
Yeah, I mean, Tasia's still got it, man. He is really showing some high-level skill here, like finding a way in when Journey's trying to switch into Sky Terran. Very impressive stuff. Journey is trying to hold on, but with how many bases Tasia has at this point, and look at the difference in production. It's like he's making some buildings and 7 Marines against 16 Marines, 3 siege tanks, and 2 Vikings in production. There's just no way. There's just no way that Journey's going to hold on here.
Yeah, I think he'll have to tap out. And there's not a real easy opportunity here for Journey to do any kind of counter-harass. He can't do any kind of massive all-in drop in the main because he'd have to pass through this or take the longer route, in which case Journey would go in and kill him. If he tries to drop the upper left at all, with a supply difference, Tasia just goes in and murders him.
Yeah, it's
ooh, that's
very
annoying.
rough situation.
You would have thought the Terrans would have made longer-ranged cannons on that planetary
I
so
know,
it could
seriously.
actually defend the expansion.
It's your main headquarters. It's like where you mine from. Just put siege tanks on the roof. What the hell?
Well, that drop should stop mining from there, assuming that Tasia's actually on top of it.
No, he's just tightening the noose. Look at all those scans. He's going to GG. Like, Journey just scanned and saw, okay, Tasia has those 3 bases. Oh, man.
And he's getting more and more. And I'm not entirely sure what Tasia, or excuse me, what Journey is doing or thinking right now.
Yeah, it looks like, in fact, Tasia just scanned that gold base in the top center because he's like, why aren't you leaving? That's actually what that scan was. That was a why aren't you leaving scan. That's where you get the feeling in the pit of your stomach. You're like, oh, God, do they have a base I don't know about? Is that why this guy's still here? But, like, Tasia has the most ridiculous lead. It's, I don't know. Maybe you can tell us something about gazelles and tigers and, you know.
It's too late. GG.
It's like Tasia's a giraffe and Journey is nothing but the leaves on the tree on a very high branch, but you know what? Not the very top branch.
Man, Tasia just got so in good position that game. Despite some of those blunders, he ultimately managed to stop Journey from ever being the aggressor. There was a point in time where it was Tasia flying back and forth, and Journey was just defending. And you know what? He would fend off attacks, but at the expense of dozens of SCVs here and there.
Yeah.
And that ultimately allowed Tasia to get that lead and win.
Yeah, Tasia made some really good moves. I was getting very nervous for him. Journey was much more tech-heavy. He was getting to that Sky Terran. And again, if you're both making some Sky units, one guy makes more, that guy's going to get a very good advantage from that. But Tasia's big draw, his army movements around, continually poking in and finally finding a place to kind of break his back.
The pressure is on. The pressure is on for Journey right now. He's had some good games, but not enough. He needs to win this game and the next. Clearly at crest.
How would you feel about a Tasia versus Stork GSL Codes finals?
I need a cigarette.
Oh. If I was Blizzard, I would shut the servers down after that. I'm like, all right, it's over.
It's done. We've finally made the greatest series ever.
4, 3, 2,
1, 0. 0. And when we get to
-1,
-2 in the upper left, in the blue.
Team Liquid 패자.
And in the bottom left, in the red, he is
Samsung Galaxy Journey.
Okie dokie. It looks like we already have a little deviation with these two. Looks like Tasia's going for a tech build with a gas first, and then it looks like probably a Reaper expand here for Journey. So Tasia kind of opening up probably for a bit of early aggression. We'll see what he wants to do with it, though.
You know, Tasia, when he's winning these events that he's been winning overseas over the past few years, you would look at it and you would always identify that he is so fast.
Mm-hmm.
He is just like
he'd everywhere. Multitask everyone at those tournaments.
Yeah, he would just be able to juggle more tasks and you know, make his opponent juggle more tasks and ultimately overcome him. And we're seeing that highlighted here. Although Tasia's had some maybe questionable builds or some wonky starts, if you get him into the late game, he is very scary.
Yeah, truly the case. This is like, what a weird world I live in right now. Tasia is 1 win away from getting into the round of 16 Codes. It's something, like, I thought his career was basically, well, it has been kind of on the decline lately, right? He's had some wrist issues, hasn't been traveling quite as much, and now, of course, he can't really travel that much, and it's like, well, Codes is so good right now. We have all these Kespa players. It's, you know, it's very tough to do anything in. But here he is, man. He's fighting back, fighting the good fight. Showing he's still got it.
Then again, we got young blood Journey over here, eager to prove himself, eager to make a name for himself. He'll take out whoever he has to get deeper in this tournament.
Journey's on a quest.
Wow. Well, as we continue onward, we're going to have to wait and see who will be the initiator. And